Hey everyone, with the potentially last, we're not quite sure what we're doing right after this as far as recording wise goes, but for the time being, the last movie for now, it's Jurassic Park. Yes, we're doing this because I felt like it mostly, but um,
It's like, what's a relatively safe choice?
Dinosaurs eating your face off. Totally safe.
Yeah. I think I'm going to take my kids to see this.
So this one's actually probably the easiest to see out of everything we've picked lately, because this one's on
it's
Netflix.
going to be on. It's going to be on like everything, yeah.
Yeah, it's on.
Yeah.
It has to be.
It's on TV all the time too. So
Yeah. So hopefully you don't have like the USA version with commercials, and then our commentary comes out of sync.
Out of sync.
But yeah, we're starting on the old school Universal logo because some of our versions have this new Universal logo that then immediately cuts to an old Universal logo. So
Which I don't fucking understand whatsoever. Just take pride in your old logo.
yeah, but yeah, we're starting on the old school Universal logo. So on the Invisible Zero, we'll start the movie. So 3, 2, 1.
Here we
Old
go.
logo.
So,
if this is supposed to be universal, then why is it only for one planet, huh? You hacks.
Because we're better than everyone else. That's why we
The
have
sun
this
revolves
universe.
around the Earth.
So, background. Jurassic Park was based on a novel by Michael Crichton. Sci-fi author. Really good. Kind of dry for my tastes, but,
Well, because the book is like 90% the science behind Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that's mostly because the way books were written around the time he was writing them, though. It's less... because... I think
And because this did well, they forced him to write a second one.
novel narratives got it's trended toward a bit more excitement in later years. So it's hard to judge his books by today's standards, but the book and the movie are not exactly the same. In fact, in a lot of ways, they're the exact fucking opposite. Like right down to the people who live and the people who die a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I've never read the book.
I have no intention of reading the book.
I forget the character's name, but Richard Attenborough dies in the book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I've read the book. I read it when I was in high school. One of the things that the book starts off with, well, apart from the long and rather drawn out scientific exposition about genetics and whatnot, there are hintings that dinosaurs have already gotten off the island at the start of the book.
But you have to answer the big question. Is Mr. DNA part of that explanation?
oh, he's the best. So this is like the movie that I think started the gigantic dinosaur craze in the 90s and early 2000s.
It didn't really start it, but it certainly did give it a boost.
Yeah, because if you were a 90s kid, like the one thing you were obsessed with, no matter who you were, was dinosaurs. Because I mean, they're awesome.
Well, there was the dinosaur Zords and Power Rangers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
This movie, I believe, was the 90s equivalent to Jaws.
Yes.
For reinvigorating the summer blockbuster.
Yeah, because there was this and T2, I think, came out at roughly the same time.
Jurassic Park, I think, was 93.
Yeah, T2 was 92, I think.
Yes, that sounds about right.
And the summer blockbuster's been going strong pretty much ever since.
Now, as horrifying as this opening sequence is, I never did understand what exactly happens here.
I think they're trying to relocate the Raptors. Is what
Yeah,
I
they're
know
moving
what
the
they're
Raptor.
doing. I don't know what happens here.
Yeah, how is the Raptor strong enough to push it out that far that easily?
They didn't put the emergency brake on. That's all I got.
I guess. Yeah, I don't really remember when this came out because I was 3 at the time, so I'm kind of at a weird in-between where I remember it, but not really remembering it.
I saw this in theaters.
Well, you were about, 6 at the time?
I was 6 years old at the time.
I actually...
And I remember a good chunk of the experience, but not all of it, because, again, that was so long ago. But I did go to the theaters to see this.
One thing
First movie I remember ever seeing in theaters was, ironically, Lion King, because it's a very different tone.
One thing I will
but, yeah.
say is that, and this is an implication I didn't get until I was older, but, like, they care so much about their stupid genetic monstrosity that they won't shoot the goddamn thing when it's killing one of their employees.
Which is why Mr. Lawyer's here.
Yeah, like, I didn't see this movie probably until, like, maybe 2004 or 5, so I was still relative. I was, like, 12, 13. The reason why we watched it, bought it, actually, we bought the DVD because for our band class, we were playing the Jurassic Park theme song, and my parents were like, "Have you ever actually seen Jurassic Park?" And me and my sister were like, "No," so they bought us the DVD and we watched it.
It's a movie?
Yeah. Like, we knew
No,
it exists,
I remember.
but...
I remember seeing this for the first time on TV when I was about 8, which was 1998. So
One of the odd differences between the book, if I remember correctly, in the movie is that this guy,
Okay.
the lawyer Gennaro, is actually a pretty decent guy in the book, and he lives.
yeah, this is going to be an interesting commentary because you have like one of the 5 people who actually read the book.
Well, I haven't read it in years, and if you really want to break down, it's probably better to go watch Lost in Adaptation on the Dom's channel. But
I can tell you the biggest difference between the book and the film has that there are actually no dinosaurs in the novel.
well, there were dinosaurs, but we got to see different ones. Like, for example, the Compies, which were all over the video game, by the way, don't appear in the movie. But
Oh, the video
yeah.
games. I only played the Genesis one and I hated it.
Oh, is that the one where Alan Grant could jump like 30 feet in the air?
Well, there's that, and there's also the terrifying T-Rex Sega shout.
There were 2 Genesis Jurassic Park games. The second one was the Rampage edition, which was the same thing, only with a much more action game event. But the
only
first
war,
one,
the only game I remember was the ride game at like Chuck E. Cheese's and stuff.
ah, jeez, yeah. But the first one on Genesis was like, it was split between 2 modes. You could play as the Velociraptor, in which case it was a really high-flying action platformer, or you could play as Alan Grant, in which case it was a side-scrolling survival horror game, of all things.
It's weird to think that this does technically fall into a lot of the trappings of a horror movie, but it's also directed by Steven
that's
Spielberg.
what it was. Well, that's what it was billed as.
Yeah, but like, I've been watching this movie since I was like 10 years old, and I've never really thought it was
you also had
horror.
Ted, you also have to remember that Spielberg's first big movie was also a horror movie called Jaws. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's weird
like-
to think that it's like they become so iconic that they don't really feel like horror movies, or at least horror, because horror tends to feel, to me, a little bit different. Like, I don't know, they're less.
Well, we said this in
They're
the
different.
We said this in the in the Terminator movie, but modern horror particularly focuses a lot on gross gore and stuff. Whereas, this is more like a horror movie in the sense that it does things that horror video games do in a weird way, where it's less about the gore and more about the actual things happening, if that makes sense.
90s computer graphics.
So I'm wondering if this is actually how paleontology worked around the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably how paleontology works now more so than back then. Like, this is them debuting new technology that's still experimental. But you could
Yeah,
probably
they're basically using underground sonar to get imaging of where it is first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they can dig it up without potentially wrecking it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's important. You got to be really, really goddamn careful. I mean, they're showing them very, very meticulously brushing dirt off the bones in these scenes. That's kind of the stuff you got to deal with, because you dig too passionately, you're gonna dig straight through what you're trying to dig out.
Yeah, you gotta destroy what you're excavating.
So is the dinosaurs evolved into birds theory still like widely received, or is that like, I know that
I'm not sure what the specifics are, but I think in a general sense, yes.
I think it went further actually after this movie, because like they changed the goddamn velociraptors to have feathers and shit.
yeah,
in
like
the third
that's
movie.
I remember Jurassic World actually got shit from paleontologists for making them look more like the lizardy kind of dinosaurs that people.
But the thing is, the funny thing in that movie is that they call them out for it in the movie, and they said, well, that's not what people want to see. So
Yeah. In Jurassic World, the joke was they're trying to run a theme park, so they changed the raptors to the ones that are cooler rather than the ones that are on points. They even made like a T-Rex raptor hybrid dinosaur as a special
sharper,
attraction.
more teeth.
How did this kid just wander
Something
into
that
a
sells.
paleontology dig? That's the one question I've been
Bring your-
asking my like
Bring
entire.
your child to work there.
This is probably like one of the families that works on the dig had to take the child along because they couldn't like leave him home alone for however many months this takes.
Well, you have to leave them home alone. They don't get into funny shenanigans with burglars.
Oh man, and yeah,
I love the joking fan theory that this kid becomes Chris Pratt in World.
Oh man.
I actually didn't really like Jurassic World all that much when I watched it.
Still haven't seen it to this day.
Oh, really?
It's
okay.
No, I have not
it's
seen Jurassic
interesting. Like there are parts that I think are really cool, like the
There are some
idea
that are surprisingly accurate, like Jimmy Fallon making a joke and no one laughing. But
yeah, there's that. I also like I like the idea of like the guy wanting to use dinosaurs for military application. Like it's a stupid
as
plan.
stupid as that is,
It's a stupid plan, but it's a plan somebody, especially in the American government, would come up with.
It's a kind of schlocky, unnecessary sequel, but it's a better schlocky, unnecessary sequel than the other two.
Than the schlocky, unnecessary
My
sequel.
history with Jurassic Park begins with the first film in theaters. I even saw Lost World in theaters. I want my grandpa to see that. But I've only seen bits and pieces of 3, and I have not watched World.
I've seen 3.
I'm sure we'll get to them.
I've seen 3 in its entirety, but just one time. I haven't seen any of it since, and that was like a good 15 years ago, I think.
I've seen 3 more times than I have seen 2, but this is definitely the one I've seen the most.
I've never seen any of 2. It just clips online.
Oh, you want more Jeff Goldblum?
Is this a trick question?
Anyway, enter John Hammond.
Hi, Richard Attenborough.
Now, I'm halfway convinced that them casting this actor as the character is the entire reason this character even survives the movie. Because
that and because he's Richard Attenborough and he voices nature documentaries really well, so you just have him talk about animals and stuff for hours and hours, and people will eat it up.
I get the feeling that like they didn't want to kill any character played by this actor off because it would have just been disturbing, so they let him survive the movie. And
we'll survive to the next one anyway.
Because John Hammond, the compies kill the shit out of John Hammond in the book, but he's not quite as sympathetic a character there. He's actually, a little too wrapped up in his creations and whatnot to really. It kind of feels like he gets his just rewards in a sad way.
Well, he kind of is here. He's just not quite as overt about it.
Well, yeah, but he has like an arc throughout the movie where he gets he comes to accept what went wrong and why, and he tries to go into denial mode, but then gets slapped out of it by Adler, I think, or Sadler. Adler. Why did I say Adler?
So, did Hammond fund their research? Because he said that like his $50,000 a year is well spent.
Oh yeah, he's one of the backers for their digs.
Well, he's like the backer, and the only reason he's here is because he wants actual experts there to look at the dinosaurs and promote the hell out of it.
Yeah, but how did they not meet him at any point, even though they gave him all that money?
Most of the rich assholes who funds a lot of these things really don't show up to any of the actual stuff. They just want the profits that it might potentially yield.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, that's, like, I don't expect him to, like, pop onto one of the digs, but they didn't, like, meet in a hotel room or something and shake hands or whatever.
If it's not necessary, I don't see why John Hammond would have bothered.
If they met anyone, it was probably one of his employees, one of his lawyers, one of his accountants.
Okay.
A representative, because this guy's like a bigwig in a huge corporation called InGen. It's really underplayed in the movie. It's not really brought up until it's not brought up in the movies until The Lost World, which ironically is the book that had nothing to do with InGen. But yeah. So he's got a lot going on. Most of the stuff that these people get involved in is stuff that they do by proxy. He's coming here in person because he wants to sell these two on his park.
Well, he's also strong-arming them into promoting the park.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's just like, I give you a bunch of money, come to my park. It's like a vacation, you'll love it.
And if you don't, I'm pulling your funding.
Yeah, basically.
Well,
maybe he needs more participants.
That is the quiet implication underneath it, but he's burying it underneath a business-like proposal of, look how awesome this deal is for you.
Yeah,
basically,
it's
overtly threatening them.
Yeah, you don't have to go straight to that, basically. Like, if they were
But that's basically what he's doing.
Well, basically, at this point, I see it more like, hey, I fund your research. I have a cool proposal for you. You want to see it? It's an island on the coast of South.
Hello, Newman.
Oh,
This
him.
guy here, the other guy, not the fat guy at the table. This guy is Louis Dodgson. He appears very briefly in the book, basically for this exact scene. It's like one of the places where the book and the movie actually do match up. But he's also the antagonist of the second book.
Huh.
Yeah, he doesn't
In my
appear
head,
at all in the second movie.
In my head canon, Newman, the postal worker in Seinfeld, is actually a graduate for like software engineering, and this is Jerry just convincing him to take this random job just so he can try and get his name out there.
Now, Dennis is his name, right? Like, he's simultaneously one of the most memorable and also one of the the most irritating parts of the entire movie.
Well, he's Newman. He's supposed to be irritating.
Yeah.
Dennis Nedry, yeah, he's
I'm just gonna call him Newman.
like
Which just swap the D and the R and you get nerdy, which is that very subtle.
he's a slob, and it's interesting seeing this actor in a mostly serious role, like mostly serious in the sense like he's a character with a humorous personality, but he's also a villain, a straight up villain, and that's it. That's something that never quite leaves the screen. That's disgusting. He just put shaving cream on a slice of pie.
It does look like
Yeah.
whipped cream, though, when he did that.
Well, that's
Someone
the
is
point.
probably going to eat that. Like when that tray gets taken back by the waiters, someone is
Yeah,
going
it's going to be Jerry.
Yeah, someone is gonna eat
Newman.
that, thinking it's just a leftover that wasn't touched.
No, John, it would be Kramer, and he wouldn't have any problem with it. Yeah, this isn't really put up in the movie as much, but Newman here actually has a legitimate beef against Hammond.
What did he do?
Yeah,
Hammond shortchanged him for his work.
Oh, okay.
yeah, basically. Like the process of cloning all these dinosaurs is super expensive. Not to mention the 2 whole Costa Rican islands they had to own for this, and
They brought Newman along to basically fix up their security, and Hammond basically completely shortchanged what the job was supposed to be, and then didn't pay him for it.
Oh. So what is Jeff Goldblum, what does he actually do? Because that's because everybody else has a purpose here. Like, the lawyer's the lawyer, these guys are the paleontologist. I never...
He's the ethics guy.
He's the ethics guy?
What Ian Malcolm does is he's big on mathematical chaos theory. Basically, he's a mathematic rock science philosopher. He's a big name in the mathematics scientific community, basically. So having someone recognizable like that to sign off on the park would be beneficial to Hammond. And that's basically why Ian Malcolm is here.
Okay.
It's like, hey, look at all these. We've got these reputable experts, and we've also got this rock star of the math world.
Look at how awesome we are.
Look at how awesome the John Williams music is. Or listen.
Okay, the island.
Interesting fact: John Williams did not win the Oscar for the score of this movie.
Who did he lose to?
He lost to himself for Schindler's List.
Oh man, that's hilarious. The sweeping views of the island, by the way, were always breathtaking to me. But the fact that the islands are in Costa Rica is far more important to the book than to the movie, because rather than being flown off by an InGen helicopter and all, what winds up happening to the characters at the end of the book is that they wind up in the custody of the Costa Rican government, trying to, explain and re-explain and basically tell the story 5,000 or 6,000 times about what happened on the island. And the book closes off on the ominous note that it sounds like there are even more dinosaurs.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! 2 female pieces, but life finds a way. Symbolism.
Oh man, you're right. I never even caught that before.
That's how you know he thinks outside the box. Oh, foreshadowing.
Well, more like that Steven Spielberg thinking the audience is way smarter than they really are.
Oh man. Yeah, but that's them that's some veiled foreshadowing of what happens with the dinosaurs later. But like in the book at the end, the lysine contingency where they can only survive if they're fed a certain nutrient that they're unable to produce on their own. Well, it turns out that they got past that way earlier in the book than they do in the movies, because at the end of the book, the dinosaurs have gotten off, they've started eating plants that are rich in lysine, and Yeah, the book just sort of leaves off on this ominous note that, oh God, we might have accidentally brought the dinosaurs back.
And I just like how, looking back, how the John Williams score is used like triumphantly to showcase trees.
Well, like one thing that I thought was really cool is like at the early points of the movie, they're super excited about just seeing the plant life that they were able to bring back, like the extinct plants. Which, I mean, if you were a paleontologist, like if you saw a plant that was supposed to be killed off 300 million years ago, like you would freak out. But it's the dinosaurs that, like, you know, everybody's gonna care about because.
Well, the interesting thing is that they have been able to bring back lost plants.
They have.
Yeah. Very, very simple ones, but
how?
Well, similar to the amber, they managed to find old genetic material of it, and then they kind of brought it back.
Did they use frog DNA?
So even if it mosquito DNA.
I recall the time they found those fossilized mosquitoes.
If it's not a one-to-one recreation, then it's really close. Closest we're ever going to get to something that was originally extinct.
Well, I think this movie is just the perfect reason for why you shouldn't bring dinosaurs back to life. As cool as it would be, it's just not a smart idea.
Well, you know, it would be just kind of about as smart as, you know, trying to weaponize a zombie plague in a world where the Resident Evil series exists.
All right, we all ready for it, everyone, once they all look over there? Turn your head.
There you go.
What if it was something mundane like a Wendy's?
Oh, people added that. Oh my fucking god!
No, it's not mundane at all. It's an actual anime Wendy, and she's just sitting against a tree on a phone.
People make that edit all the time where it's them looking and then on, and they just go to something really stupid. Now, for 1993, these graphics hold up really fucking well.
And this is CG. This still looks okay. You can tell it's very much CG, though.
Well, that's ultimately the screens we have nowadays, but
yeah,
it still holds up very well.
Like in the theaters and
in '93,
a regular television, a 4:3 television back in the days. This. You're probably wondering, especially like elderly, how did they do that? Like, oh my god, they're like, that's really cool. They got actual dinosaurs for the film.
Like the practical dinosaurs, I still think look like spectacular, but
yes, they're the best things that they aged in this film.
And that's why the CG works so well, because you have 80% real stuff there.
This is basically not Gennaro from the book. Well, I'm sure he was interested in the financial prospects of the park, but he wasn't quite so tunnel vision focused on it.
Well, he's the lawyer, so he has to be the audience. The audience expectation is that he's a scumbag.
Yeah, it's more like Gennaro and Hammond switched some of their karma for the movie, though.
Trailer line.
We're gonna make so much money selling dinosaur crap to small children.
Man.
To at least be a bit fair, this movie is actually really good for its big blockbuster status.
No, this is a fantastic movie. I love it.
Oh yeah, this was Spielberg at his height. I mean, he wasn't making Ghost in the Shells or anything like that back then.
Wait, hold on. Steven Spielberg did the new Ghost in the Shell?
He's involved. I think he's in the producer status.
Oh, well, that just means he threw money at it. That doesn't mean he had anything to do with it.
Well, apparently the story with the Ghost in the Shell is that Spielberg really wanted to do a Ghost in the Shell project.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
But now he's older and just doesn't care as much.
Yeah, because the movies he's still directing are still good. Like Lincoln, that's a movie he directed. That's a fantastic movie.
I can understand why he would want to too, because Ghost in the Shell is actually a really important part of film history. The original.
And then Hollywood screwed it up again.
They just kind of made a bland remake, really. I mean, it's probably not the worst bad remake we've seen, but
I guess not. But has anyone else been to Universal where they have this building?
They have like a replica of it?
Yeah, you can walk in and see dinosaur fossils and stuff.
So, I know that, this is obviously a prop, but in terms of the actual park, they probably would have wanted to have a real fossil there. Like, you do know that thing is going to fall down and break due to some kid being an idiot, within 3 days, right?
Oh boy,
heavily guarded.
Are you ready for the ride? This is the ride.
Well, to be fair, this is a park where people are, paying a whole bunch of money just for airfare to get to Costa Rica so that they can visit it. So they're probably not going to bring any really unruly kids here. So is John Hammond always supposed to be here in person for this?
I don't know.
Because that sounds really impractical. I mean, it's fun to watch, but it sounds like a really impractical thing.
I still want an edit where it's R. John, Proton John, Big John from HDQ, or they're all just popping up and going, "Hello, John. Hello, John."
Oh, man.
Kind of a conceited fuck.
It's
it's everyone's favorite character, Mr. DNA.
Well, actually, now that I think about it, they probably get someone else to do the same act with their own version of the on-video stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie though. When in Jurassic World, you saw the little clip of the kids at the displays, and Mr. DNA was there.
DNA
I did smile. It's just like, oh, it's Mr. DNA.
Oh, man.
Animation.
This is actually a good way to take care of the exposition for the movie, though. Explaining the science behind it.
Yeah, the thing about this animation style is it's the exact correct animation style that they use in edutainment video cassettes.
Yeah, it's the exact kind of stuff. Schoolhouse Rock actually is what this reminds me of a lot.
Yeah.
That guy's face. What? Who drew that? And why have they been allowed to live?
Using sophisticated techniques of jamming a needle up their ass.
It's okay. We're sure they don't mind.
One of the things that I do like about Jeff Goldblum in this movie that sort of elevates this role above his other roles where he's basically the same character. It's like his character is interesting enough in a one-note sort of way, but the way the cinematography...
he also has some damn good lines in this movie. Maybe not befitting of him, but still damn good lines.
The writing and the cinematography really help his acting in this movie, and that's probably why he fell flat in The Lost World, which didn't really do that.
And I still quote the your scientists are so preoccupied, whatever line for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Goldblum's character in the context of this universe works better as a supplementary character and not necessarily as the lead.
Yeah, because the paleontologists are the ones you really care about. They're the ones who know stuff about dinosaurs.
The unfortunate thing is that, well, I guess they wanted to bring Ian Malcolm back for the movie, maybe. I'm not really sure whether that was Crichton's choice or not. But
I think it was maybe because the actor for Grant probably didn't want to do another one, so they're like, okay, we'll get Jeff Goldblum then.
Basically,
that and Jeff Goldblum was, hot in that time.
Well, that was around Independence Day, yeah.
But that's beside the point. But the thing I wanted to mention was that Ian Malcolm dies in the book, but then he's back for the sequel.
He dies in the book?
And it turns out, well, he died off screen in the book. And it was acknowledged that he died, but in the sequel book, 6 years later, you find out he didn't really die. He was recovered later by someone else.
He was brought back with mosquito DNA.
Oh, he wasn't. Well, might as well have been, but he was injured. He had a limp, I think, but he survived.
Oh man, this is a really weird episode of Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, and this doctor guy is in Jurassic World as well.
Yeah, but yeah. I only know him as the psychologist from SVU. Other than this, so it's really weird seeing him here.
It's kind of bizarre to me that they brought this specific scientist back. I mean, I know it's because they wanted a familiar face and something to connect things to the.
Well, you couldn't bring Hammond back because Attenborough died. So
Yeah, but he's actually like a lot more scumbaggy in Jurassic World, where he's like totally cool with making dinosaur monstrosities.
Here he's a young, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed scientist, kind of low-end scientist. There, he's the head genetic scientist guy.
Yeah, so like
it's just you think considering the way that this incident went, he wouldn't be so eager to continue that line of thought. But,
yeah,
no, he's all for arguing his case and justifying himself there now.
I gotta wonder how they actually made the egg come out. Like the dinosaur come out of the egg, I should say. Like the animatronic for that must have been super complicated.
Oh, you can make a documentary on how they made this movie.
Well, I'm guessing that
Which
there's,
I'm sure they
guessing
have.
that there's some animatronic hand puppetry going on here.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's part of it. No, so you can't really see the bottom of the egg.
The work that they honestly the visual work that they did for this movie, I think has to be one of the best from the decade, I think.
Yeah. Or maybe we're just dopes and assuming it's an animatronic when they got an actual dinosaur egg for this film because Spielberg is that committed.
It's just the thing though, like there are some dinosaur stuff that came out after this that's really, really good, and then there's stuff like Disney's Dinosaur, which puts me to sleep every time I watch it. And it's just like
the TV show?
No, the Disney's Dinosaur the movie, the CG movie. That it came out like around 2000.
I thought you were talking about the sitcom.
No.
One of the things that I will say that I like about Jurassic World is that one of the clever things about the movie, beyond its schlocky elements, is that it does do it in a somewhat smart way. It subverts the expectation about the Raptors. Like, the lesson of this movie is that they're too smart to be controlled, and that they probably shouldn't have been brought back, and it would have been smarter to kill them off, like the guy in the guy in the hat.
Your scientists are so
saying.
preoccupied with whether or not they could, they never stop to think about whether or not they should.
Yeah, but like that
Yeah.
was one thing I did like about the movie is that like the whole point is that Chris Pratt can like tame the dinosaurs and be like Beastmaster, but like halfway through the using the Velociraptors scene, like they turn on him. So it's just like, yeah, this was a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like, they sort of they subverted what we knew about the Raptors before, but they tied it into the same "you have to respect the power of nature" theme.
Yeah.
They just took it in a different direction.
That's entirely what Goldblum's role in this film is.
Yeah, it's just the original Jurassic Park did it by making the Raptors these horrifying killing machines that you had no hope of being equal to. And Jurassic World does it by putting man and raptor on equal footing and teaching both to respect each other, which I thought was a clever little niggle.
How the hell, like, I know that this is one of the things that they kind of gloss over, but how the hell would they be able to make enough food, like have enough cattle, to even feed all the dinosaurs they were going to keep on the island?
They shipped them in from the mainland.
Yeah, but, like, I don't think that they would be able to keep up, basically. Like, they would have to breed cattle at a really, really fast rate.
Dude, okay, you're basically describing McDonald's.
I remember when Sonic Adventure 2's initial commercial parodied this scene.
Oh yeah,
And
with the two head, with the good hedgehog, bad hedgehog.
And this is the thing
And
about
then
Mars.
what they don't.
It's about what you don't see.
What you don't see is that the camera's turned 180 degrees, and you just see a bunch of people sitting down by the bushes and wiggling them around.
Oh man, those interns look so tacky. Ugh, disgusting.
Man.
Muldoon, such a stereotypical fancy person name.
This is how you know it's really early 90s. Because guys wearing shorter shorts. Like, at some point past the mid-90s...
He's wearing khakis.
Like, at some point past the mid-90s, it became quote-unquote gay for a man to wear shorts that were any shorter than your knees.
Well, that was the Village People for you, so...
Personally, I don't find it comfortable. I like something over my knees, but that's just me. Also, I don't have the legs to pull it off, so, nobody needs to see that.
Look at Muldoon here, though. He's really showing it off.
Yeah, he makes it work. I'm not going to deny.
God forbid there's a sudden draft.
Would it be like Rio 9? Would it be like what Reno 911?
I think Muldoon might have been one of the people who survived in the book of it. I'm not sure. I lost track at some point.
Okay, so
like I said, I haven't read it since high school.
So here's one question I have. The whole point of these things is to make attractions, right? So if in order to keep the visitors safe from the raptors, they have to have these huge cages that you can barely see them, then what's the point in even making them? Because, like, the T-Rex I can get, that's big enough that even with the proper safety measures, you could get a good look at the T-Rex. But the raptors, like, if you're going to be close enough to see them for, like, a tourism perspective, you're close enough to die. So...
Well, at this point, I get the feeling that they're just sort of trying to figure out what to do with the raptors.
Yeah, because they brought them back without thinking.
They're not thinking far enough ahead. They just want to make them because money.
There's only a very small handful of raptors that are on this island. Like, the majority of them are still over in Site B. But like there's 3 or 4 maybe.
Did they mention the Site B in the movie, or is that just a thing in the book?
Yes.
It's not here, but the movie does start with them shipping a full-grown raptor into the paddock.
Okay.
Which presumably, in the context of the larger series, does come from Site B. And Site B is in the Lost World novel as well. It's handled better there. But, it makes sense that they'd have a second island for the breeding and raising of dinosaurs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is also topical for the time because they just broke the DNA code close to this time period.
They did?
Yeah, I think it was short. I think it was like a year or 2 after this, but they knew they were getting close.
How long after the book did the movie come out?
It wasn't too long after. Let me look that up, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this. I love this spiel by Goldblum here.
Like, I know Michael Crichton and Steven Spielberg knew each other.
The book was 3 years before the movie.
Okay, so that's actually pretty quick, all things considered. Especially...
Yeah, Spielberg caught wind of it, he liked the book, and he wanted to make a movie out of it. And I think Michael Crichton wrote the first draft of the script.
Yeah, but I can't, honestly, from what I've heard of the original book, I can't imagine Spielberg going with it, because, like, Spielberg, it's not whimsy enough, so...
I want to add Jeff Goldblum.
Well, that's not to say that the book doesn't have its sense of wonder where it belongs, because one of the things about Crichton is that he does show some legitimate interest and excitement about the stuff he dreams up. As many great science fiction writers do. It's just that his writing style is very clinical at times. Like he doesn't write things in a quirky manner. He writes them in a very serious, down-to-earth, and detail-oriented manner. He's, in a way, kind of like Tolkien. Although Tolkien has a more linguistic bent, it's difficult to explain writing styles. Trying to liken one author to another is always a shaky business.
I like how everyone except the lawyers basically against Hammond on this table.
Well, that's because you picked actual scientists.
This is that point where an eccentric genius tries to convince other level-headed geniuses that his genius is amazing, and they're all pointing out what's wrong with it, and he
doesn't want to hear it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to hear it. He brought these people here to hear what he wanted to hear, and
he just wanted yes men.
Oh, man.
Wait, the lawyer is not actually a bloodsucker? Get out of my office.
Lawyerist, bloodsuckerist. We're bringing that back, too.
What you don't see is the deleted scene after that lunch sequence where Gennaro walks out of the room, pulls out his mobile phone, and says, "Count, they suspect."
Cancel the ham.
Children's!
Yes,
Look, the kids like it.
yes, but not annoying child actors.
No, they that's something I actually haven't thought about too much. But yeah, the kid actors that they got for this are actually good. They work.
Oh yeah, they're decent enough. I mean, well, one of them is a younger teenager, so.
Yeah, but even the young boy still does pretty well, as well. Like they're
Holy shit! Interactive CD-ROM.
oh man, this looks low tech even for 1993.
Interactive CD-ROM in a car. At this day and age, I doubt they would have had the technology to have a CD-ROM spinning in a car and not get it all scratched up every 5 minutes. Creepy kid, go away.
The pop-up version doesn't count.
Like, to this day, I'm still really kind of nervous about listening to music off of a CD in a car.
Oh yeah, because if you go over a bump, sometimes it can wreck the CD depending on how good
Okay.
how good the player is.
It's just like that kind of stuff is the bane of Xbox 360 games, and you're expecting me to put my music CDs in there? And CDs aren't even as durable as DVDs. Jesus.
So this annoying kid is basically every annoying kid from that point. So is the meteor theory still present, or I have not kept up on my dinosaur knowledge at all.
I'm not entirely sure.
Sadler. Traitor.
He's like, of course she'd try to do that.
Well, the meteor impact is the most often believed reason why dinosaurs went extinct, right?
Yeah.
Or is
Well,
it
that's
just
at least the most
That
popular.
that or Ice Age.
Ice Age
Or Ice Age caused by a meteor.
The meteor was the prevailing theory around the time this movie came out. Or at least it was the one that always popped up.
Hi, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
I always forget he's in this movie.
Well, he's not screaming motherfucker every sentence, so.
Yeah. And honestly, because of that, it's one of his weaker roles.
It also doesn't help that it's literally the stereotypical black guy horror role, like to an even worse extent than the one in Terminator. Like it's pretty much.
But hey, that man went down fighting.
So if they've got the cars on a trail, why do they have them like in actual cars instead of like, I don't know, like a roller coaster?
Mine carts. The car shaped the T-Rex.
The track is a power line for the car.
Yeah.
Essentially.
They don't run on gas. They're entirely electric.
Yeah, no, I get that part. It's just why make them look like cars when you could hold way more people in like a roller coaster styled thing.
Because it's not supposed to be a it's not well. First of all, it's a lot cheaper to make a track for this kind of thing. But the other thing is that it's supposed to be a safari type thing, and safaris are something you do in a Jeep or a car.
Okay.
It's part of the atmosphere, you know.
How many times does he say we spared no expense?
He's trying to sell himself. Which is even funnier because once you get to this part in the movie, you realize he's sparing every expense.
Yeah.
Especially the expense he should have spent on making sure Dennis Nedry didn't betray him. I like how the dinosaurs just all don't show up.
Well, I mean, that's the risk you run with this kind of thing. Like, you don't want to have too many dinosaurs because then they'd all rip each other's face off. But what if they
you go to the zoo in like June or something, and all the animals are asleep because it's too damn hot out.
That's actually something that you even run into in like if you've ever gone to Disney World and gone to Animal Kingdom. Like if they have the safari things there too. And like if like you're gonna pass by where the gorillas are going to be, sometimes they'll be like, "Oh, the gorillas are supposed to be over there. They'd be doing this if they were out now, and they aren't." So that's something that.
That's why if you're gonna go to a zoo, you go in the morning
or early evening.
Yeah, I'd recommend morning.
Or just don't go to the zoo because it's lame.
Newman.
You're lame.
This guy's workstation is disgusting, and it's also the most realistic thing in this movie. I mean, sometimes my desk actually winds up looking something like this. I mean, obviously with HD screens instead of old CRT monitors, but... Actually, an interesting bit of technical trivia about CRT monitors is that they lasted a while after HD monitors started to come out, because their refresh rates were actually pretty fast compared to early HD monitors. So
that's why everyone plays Melee on CRTs instead of HD stuff.
Yeah. Well, nowadays there's like no difference whatsoever, but
The people will claim there's a quarter-second lag.
I don't feel it.
You know, that's what you were talking about. Like, that's something that I didn't ever really notice at the time, though. But you're right. Like, if he's not getting paid for his work, he has a reason to be upset. Especially since I know that he comes across as a slob, but he actually does know what he's talking about. Like, that techno babble there actually did make sense. Like, I can't fix this, otherwise we'll lose other parts of the system. Like, that's an actual computer thing, I think, at least, sorta.
Yeah, it's like I can't do it right now. There are people out there.
He brought up memory limitations, and the system is being run by the computer. So if he uses up the memory to fix the headlights, well, they're gonna lose memory on the goddamn tour in progress.
You know, this is back when like a gigabyte of RAM was a luxury.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they had because Hammond spared no expense.
Oh, this was always one of my favorite scenes in the film.
We're using Windows 3.1. We spared no expense.
But who would you reproduce with?
Oh man, social justice Jurassic Park trying to push its feminist values all over us. They should just keep politics out of movies. I mean, seriously, why bother?
It's more she's just being a smartass.
Well, I always did enjoy that brand of humor wherever someone points out that, you know, whenever we use the word man to just refer to humanity at large, it can be you know, snarkily misconstrued to only refer to half of the human population.
You fucking freak.
She says she's a vegetarian, but I doubt she's being honest there.
I apologize to any of the vegetarian watchers of BrainScratch comms.
No, you don't.
No, not really.
Why should we apologize
you see through
for
my
Spielberg?
deceptive ruse?
That goat doesn't even know how to walk. You don't use your knees, silly goat.
It's sitting down.
Use your butt for that, Lewis. Gosh, what a stupid goat.
Actually, I don't.
Greatest of all time.
I don't think that would be very comfortable. I think that a goat does have to lower the front of its body first.
Okay, Golden. Is there any reason why particularly you want to eat the camera?
I just want to.
I'm chewing the scenery.
I just want to know how long they had to sit there with a camera pointed at a chained up goat to get it to get a scene where it sat down like that.
Well, chaos is power, and power is enriched by the heart.
Well, you see, honey, it comes from a giant green emerald that sits atop of a mountain, and once it breaks, the water god appears, and
the servants uniform. Oh God.
Probably the best thing about the dialogue sequences in this movie is how natural they are. They're not a lot. There's not a lot of words. There's a lot of gesturing. There's a lot of face acting. Yeah.
Spielberg. You can't deny that Spielberg is a great director.
Yeah, that's probably why the movies with a name attached to them haven't been so great, since he hasn't been doing as much directing.
Man, Jeff Goldblum is terrible at flirting.
Yeah, he seems to be doing a good enough job.
I wish he touched my hand.
They always ask me if you pronounce it Goldblum or Goldblum, and I always say, "How dare you talk to me?" Shut up, Jeff.
Actually, you could have totally predicted that.
Does he do that when he's like alone on the elevator or something?
So now Jeff Goldblum just wakes up. Nobody could have expected that. I would have forgot to put pants on before going to bed. That's chaos theory.
And one of my favorite little mistakes in this movie, right here, is like while he's on a video call. No, it might be in the next scene with Nedry actually, but they forgot to crop out the video playing bar.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna have to bring that up when you see it because I need to see that.
Yeah, there's that and the hand on the Velociraptor model in the kitchen.
Oh man. What the Okay, you're in a jungle. There are dinosaurs around. Why are you talking about your stupid book? Come on.
I think he's
a very stupid kid.
He just he wants to talk to his hero, basically, pretty much.
Well, congratulations, kid. You know how to act like an annoying little kid. On purpose, even. That's actually impressive in its way. Just like Triceratops was always a sad thing.
Well, it's super impressive looking, for the record.
Yeah. Must have taken a lot of time to sculpt this.
I honestly, this stuff fascinates me. I wonder, what they made it. Is it actually leathery on the skin and stuff? The tongue is also really detailed and all that. Man.
What was wrong with the Triceratops again? Was it hungover?
It just had a party. It had a party with the Brachiosaurs last night, and, it just partied too hard.
I don't know if they ever confirm exactly what was wrong with the Triceratops.
Well,
they might have gone into more detail about this in the book, or it might not.
Oh, they even have pus come out of. Oh, that's gross. But honestly, the dinosaurs getting sick is not something that I would highly expect because they didn't have modern day diseases in ancient times.
It's a War of the World problem.
That might actually be the problem because when a species or a society is introduced to an entirely new disease that their immune systems aren't used to, sometimes that disease hits them harder, and sometimes their immune system just reacts badly to the foreign presence.
That's not even just like a time displacement thing. That's even just across continents. When people were colonizing the Americas back in the 1700s, the reason why many native populations died off is, one, explorers exposed them to diseases because they were assholes, but also because those native populations were more susceptible to the diseases because they've never experienced them before.
Yeah, and it's basically it's common wisdom that if you're an American and you're ever gonna visit Africa or something, you gotta take a bunch of shots.
Yeah, go get vaccinated.
Vaccinate the fuck out of yourself before you go, basically.
Yeah. So, honestly, I'm surprised that everything in the park isn't sick, but, that's if all the dinosaurs were sick, then it wouldn't be fun, so,
I like how they didn't know that there was a storm headed their way until it was too late to stop it. What is Hammond, the world's most optimistic dreamer? Did he just expect the storm to turn out of the way?
Well, no, there were probably plenty of major hurricanes and tropical storms at that point.
That is a big pile of shit, what everyone says about most live-action adaptations of a cartoon.
If you're going to have an operation this dangerous, though, you probably want to base it somewhere where there aren't a lot of tropical storms.
I think they needed the environment to be warm, though, because of the...
Well, I know the reason that they have their own island here and everything. It's because Jurassic Park is powered by its own geothermal plant. There is, in fact, a volcano level in the video game to reference this.
Or maybe they just wanted a volcano level.
Well, the volcano level is there because the island has geothermal power. They just took the concept and decided to take it to its logical video game conclusion.
Hello, Newman.
You know, what's actually interesting is that they were able to find fossilized poop and turn it into real-life modern-day poop. Dinosaur poop.
Technology's amazing.
They were able to do this in, like, the 1800s, too.
People are so preoccupied with whether or not you could, you never stop to think about whether or not you should.
I mean, think about it. The dinosaur poop, that's gotta smell nasty.
Now, one thing that I will say is that leaving a dinosaur out like this with a storm coming would be dangerous, considering the whole cold-blooded thing.
Well, what are they going to do about it?
They mentioned with the
stuff.
brachiosaurs that they thought that it was warm-blooded, actually. Like, I mean, they're all making this up, but if it was cold-blooded, yeah, the thing would probably die out there.
Yeah, there's the play.
Anyway, there's the video.
Yeah.
In fact, the mouse is over the play button.
At least they actually have it running on the computer, though. I don't know.
You got a major storm on the way. You guys should prepare for this. Okay, it's about 24 hours away. We got that video 23 hours ago.
Okay.
Goddamn.
So, you know, what I want to ask is, we've all done the camcorder to CRT Let's Play. How did they not get the flashy bars on their computer screens?
You know, I think that there's a specific kind of monitor that they
there's a special display that they use for recording off of.
Yeah.
And if you really want pixel quality CRT quality, that's the kind of monitor you're looking for, but they're expensive as shit because they're essentially studio TVs.
Mm-hmm.
They spared no expense.
Man, Hammond spent more money on the computers that
You
Nedry's
sound like
working
the
on
most
than-
suspicious person I've ever seen, dude.
Womp womp.
Man, he's got, you know, the standard sexy wallpaper thing, but it's not even an operating system that you can put wallpaper across the entire screen for.
Yeah, that was
So it's just like there's this like half of the screen dedicated to just having a wallpaper image for no reason.
yeah, it was Apple, it was Mac, because they had the symbol instead of the Windows symbol.
Actually, that does make sense. Wouldn't a Mac computer be better for this kind of environment?
Probably. Later in the movie, though, where they have like the super sci-fi looking computer screen with the kids, that is an actual
It's a Unix system.
that's an actual operating system that existed for like $3,000 computers from the time.
Yeah, I can imagine that, because people thought 3D was the shit.
It's incredibly inefficient for like actually just running the UI, but it looks cool.
Actually, one of the interesting things that people were experimenting with around this time, I think, was using sort of motion control gloves for controlling computers.
Minority Report, anyone?
They brought that up during we use virtual reality to do the DNA stuff.
Yeah, that was brought up here. It was the same technology that went into the Power Glove, albeit in a much cheaper and less functional manner. So this is where that boy got the T-Rex pee.
So he's stealing samples.
Yeah, basically, so that they can make their own dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And
Hey
Newman
guys,
is
I
only
was
doing
just
that
carrying this bottle of shaving cream with me, like you do.
Yeah, it's only because Hammond shortchanged Newman here on his pay that he's basically taking a huge payday from a rival corporation to get the embryos.
Well, the shaving cream isn't meant to deceive the people in the park. It's actually meant for customs.
Yeah, when he takes it to the airport.
Yeah. Which probably wouldn't work today, considering airport security seems to not like things in bottles anymore.
Yeah, you'd have to put all the
Well, you put it
embryos
in
in
your-
a Ziploc bag.
Okay, is this dinosaur P 2 ounces or less? I hope.
I like how Hammond's first instinct to try and look for him was find the vending machines.
That's where he
One
said
of
he
the-
was going, but honestly, that was also where he probably would be. So
One of the most graphically striking games about the things about the video game was that they had a 16-bit sequence where the car was driving through the gate. It was pretty nice looking for the time. I like how he just sort of rams his way through the gate here, though.
Well, the car would do a better job opening the gate than he would.
Yeah. That's not how you clean a desk, dude.
it's one way to do it.
Talking about.
Yeah, but then all that stuff is on the floor, and then you gotta pick that up.
Is that what picture is on his? Is that Christopher Lee on his computer?
Wait, what?
There was like the little black and white photo on the rightmost monitor. I could have sworn it was Christopher Lee.
And yeah, the entire reason that Dennis Nedry turned the electric fences off was so that he could push his way past a couple of gates. That is the entire reason this happened. I mean, the storm didn't help. The storm just made sure it couldn't turn back on like it was planned to.
Yeah,
But,
because they don't want. He just wants to steal stuff. He doesn't want dinosaurs to go running free.
Yeah. Basically, the entire situation arose from a bunch of unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, that right there. No, that's not Christopher Lee. It's probably some scientist then.
You know, he never would have gotten lost like this if this had taken place in the 2010s, because like these days you can just put a compass on your mobile phone.
You didn't say the magic word. Shut up.
My favorite screensaver of all time.
What, just Newman wagging his finger?
Just knew it because I reference this thing constantly.
Oh,
Even today.
they said he apparently went to MIT because they said his people in Cambridge. So, or he worked at MIT.
It's not a screensaver. Programmers tend to have a sense of humor, and they tend to bury
Yeah.
that humor in what they program.
But nowadays, if I see that, it's often a screensaver. I used to have it as a screensaver, and I still quote it every single.
He didn't say the
fucking day of my
magic
life.
word.
I was like, oh, he didn't say the magic word.
Oh man.
Kiss already.
Can you imagine?
By the way,
Can you imagine these things will still be fully functional in like 25 years from now?
The batteries must be excellent. What are these, like D's?
I like how the lawyer thinks that the pair of colorful goggles underneath the seat in the tour Jeep aren't meant for customers to use.
Oh, they light up, so you know.
Rainwater is typically very clean. Well, unless it's acid rain, in which case that's a funny way to go.
I think most rain is naturally a little bit acidic, but not like acid rain. Like pH. I can never remember if acid is positive or negative pH.
Positive.
Well, something being acidic doesn't necessarily mean it's dangerous. I mean,
Rainwater is
oranges are
about
acidic.
as clean a water as you're ever going to get. So
Yeah. Okay, so apparently this was one of the hardest effects for them to do in the movie. Like, they couldn't figure out how to make it work, so what they did was they took a guitar string and strummed it underneath the cups to make it go from the effect like
to make it ripple from the epicenter.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was apparently one of the most difficult effects to figure out how to do.
The T-Rex, that was easy.
Well, I
didn't
say expensive. I didn't say expensive.
The scene where Gennaro looks in the rearview mirror was also in the video game.
Yes, and then everyone mercilessly reused it as parodies, such as Toy Story.
Oh man.
Oh no, the goat.
Can I just point out, for such a big motherfucker, this T-Rex is sneaky in this movie.
Hey,
It always
lamb
seems
chops!
to come out of nowhere.
It's everybody's favorite dinosaur.
And the entire audience at the time collectively gasped.
And
Yeah, one of my
that's
earliest-
all animatronic too. That's not a single hint of CG, or maybe a little bit, but it's mostly animatronic.
No, it's all animatronic.
One of my earliest memories of this movie is I was watching it in the living room of our house, right?
Why is there a bathroom next to the
And-
T-Rex pen?
Yeah, sometimes
And
you just gotta go.
I was alone. It was the middle of a bright sunny day, and the T-Rex scene happened, and the T-Rex scared me. I was a little kid at the time, to the point where I actually stopped the movie and left the house and just went out into the backyard for a little while. I just had to step out.
This is probably
That was so
CG
fucking
though.
tense towards
Oh,
this
yeah.
scene. Yeah, this is CG. But I remember this part in the theater. I was just like tensed as all hell.
One of the things that makes the CG in
unnerving.
this scene work better than
Well, it's
some
dark
of the other
out.
CG in this movie is it's dark out, but it's also rainy. So
You hide the seams better.
yeah.
That was proven false, though,
How can they verify that though?
based on the type of eye it has.
Oh, okay. Are there animals that visions are based on? Well, I mean, probably. But
Most likely, yeah.
so, what the heck
It's a
was her
very-
idea here with the light? Anyway,
I have no idea what she was doing here, but it's like there are animals I think with that kind of vision, but it's not something you would expect a predator to have. A
Well,
predator needs to be able to stalk its prey while its prey is mostly stationary, you know?
yeah, that's like. I mean, I guess it would help in a chase if you could see moving objects very well, but like if you're trying to sneak up, well, the T-Rex isn't going to sneak up on anything.
It does in this movie.
It's been years since I've watched this, and all the details, like the eye and stuff, like I'm just. Man,
Actually, you know, it doesn't really matter what size something is. If it's trying to sneak, it's going to sneak. I mean, all the T-Rex has to do is not let its feet fall quite so hard.
well, I was more thinking about it being able to be seen, but thinking more on that, if the jungle is as thick as it's supposed to be during that time period, it'd be hard to see it necessarily.
Yeah.
You're taking an awfully long time turning that flashlight off.
I still don't get why she tried to turn it on in the first place, though.
I don't understand that either. Like, maybe she was trying to distract it from the other car, but why would she do that?
It's the motherfucking T-Rex.
Yummy motor oil.
This is the T-Rex trying to figure out how do cars be? Where is the meat?
How do we get to the tasty treats inside? Is it like a
Chicken.
pinata? Do I-
This chicken's gamey as fuck.
It's all
Oh,
thick and
man.
rubbery.
It's raw! It's fucking raw!
Fucking Gordon Ramsay T-Rex.
You call this calamari?
Hey, look, we can make it a birthday candle. Look, we got some candles.
This squid is so raw it was hosting a Splatfest.
You're not Arnold.
This
You
is
know,
the
they
part where
probably
Ian
would have
Malcolm is
distracted it
sorta-
good enough just by throwing the damn thing.
So, Gennaro dies in the movie because Ian Malcolm is a fucking idiot.
Why did he pull his pants? Oh no, those are shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I've always-
dying on the shitter, just like Elvis.
So when I was I always thought he pulled his pants down for some reason. Like, why? Why would you? Did you actually have to go?
Oh, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
No, I'm not all right. Shut the hell up, bitch.
Yes, he can.
They're pretending. They're staying still so that I don't see them again. I don't have the heart to tell them that that's not the case.
Stupid car. You're not even tasty.
You got to admire the cunning there. It's like, okay, I know there's something here. I can't see it because it's not moving.
Yeah,
so I'm
these
gonna
aren't.
make it move.
Yeah, you know, like people bring up like the T-Rex's brain was as small as like a pea or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Well,
but, like,
that's just not true because obviously big head, but
yeah, but like,
Logically, that's just bullshit.
yeah, but I mean, like these animals aren't dumb. They're just animals, you know. Like animals are actually.
But they also act on basic instinct.
it's like a hear loud sound might be something to eat.
Oh dear.
Wait, where's the boy at the moment?
Still in the
In
car.
the car.
Oh, in the car.
Yeah.
I said, grab the wire.
Have you ever played Donkey Kong Country, kid?
Now this is before DKC.
And then the Lost World figured, hey, that's a cool scene. Let's try that again, except with a trailer.
Let's raise the stakes.
Technobabble, 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 technobabble.
I understand. I understand approximately 10% of what I just said.
Motherfucker.
Like the three people behind him just look lost.
Yeah, I have to go outside and get all wet.
The things I do for my boss.
You are paying me for this, right? I spare no expense, and where'd that get you?
Can't get Jurassic Park back online without Newman.
He says that, and that's how you know in the exact scene following it.
He's gonna die.
Nedry's gonna die.
This is all Jerry's fault.
And you thought cutting through the jungle was a good idea.
What if Seinfeld were in Jurassic Park? Jerry get Jurassic Tyrannosaurus. Why don't you just run, dude? Wait, well, hold the phone. Was that just a cartoon banana peel slipping sound effect?
No, I think that was just the sound of rubber squeaking against wood.
It definitely.
That or the wire.
My glasses.
I mean, I kind of did hear it too.
My glasses. I can't see without my glasses.
Oh yeah, you're right. It probably was the wire.
Oh look, a tree. That is your cue to run.
Yeah, just run to the dock. I don't see why you need the car.
I'm pretty sure the Dilophosaurus would catch him if he ran.
Well, to be fair, anything would catch him if he tried to run, but...
Well, I mean, he doesn't know that it's... Like, he wouldn't have... So this is like the only time we see this dinosaur in the movie, too.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't ever establish, like, what all the other dinosaurs are doing when they're fucking about on the island, too. So, you know.
Well, the herbivores are just wandering around eating, so...
In the sequels, what do they say they do with the remaining dinosaurs on the island?
They die off on their own.
They do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Lycian contingency basically means all of the animals on the island have to be supplied with a specific chemical, nutrient, whatever, that their bodies would otherwise have produced on their own if they hadn't been bred not to be able to do that. So if they ever got off the island, theoretically they would die. In the book, it's said that they learned to eat nothing but, like, the herbivores would eat plants that were rich in lysine, and then the carnivores would eat them.
Okay, so
that's basically why Site B happened. Also, I think in the book, this island was bombed to shit.
Okay. Because they just didn't want to take any chances, I'm guessing.
Oh dear.
Oh, he used the blooper weapon on him. That's a waste of time. Like, that's supposed to be acid, right?
It's toxic, and it's supposed to numb and paralyze whatever it gets hit by. Also, blindness if it hits the eyes, obviously.
Boy, you got in here fast.
I'll drive.
I think the implication was that there was a second Dilophosaurus.
Curse you, Jerry!
So in Jurassic
I
World
always-
3, they're gonna find that shaving cream, and it's still gonna be the stuff's still gonna be good. And then there's two Jurassic Worlds.
They're gonna mistake it for amber and try and process
when I was
dinosaur
a kid,
DNA for the
when
can.
I was a kid, I always got it into my head, and this was just some stupid idea that I came up with on my own, that the embryos would actually be born into dinosaurs after being buried in the mud. But no.
Well, what they do? Grow like
without
plants? Would make a velociraptor tree?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like that can of shaving cream will get fossilized and become amber, and then they'll try and extract DNA out of it, and then they'll make a shaving cream dinosaur that's shaped as a giant shaving cream can.
The thing though is that Jurassic Park 3 doesn't take place on this island. It takes place on Site B. So.
Well, this is Site A, right?
Yeah, this is the park. Site B is the breeding island. Man, it's like these trees were built for climbing.
And in the movies, they established that this is the same island that would eventually become the Jurassic World in the Jurassic World movie.
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Jurassic World completely ignores 2 and 3.
So basically, in Jurassic World, the people in charge of the park in that movie are idiots who thought trying the same thing again would work. And to their credit, it did work for a while, long enough for people to become bored with dinosaurs, in fact.
I don't know how that happens. Like, Disney World has been mostly the same for, 60, 70 plus years? And, probably longer, actually, and people still go to that. So, you need new attractions, but I don't see people getting sick of dinosaurs existing in general for, the 10 years the park's been open.
It was just sort of a... it was the... I say the movie is a schlocky, somewhat unnecessary sequel, but they were trying to make statements about consumerism and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very cynical in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie's somewhat cynical as well, but not nearly as much as World, I think.
When did they get beneath the car?
I think they climbed down a little bit. I don't know. I would have moved to the other side of the tree first, but whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
The car's the real villain of the movie.
Oh man.
Move to
I'm
the
just
other
surprised-
side of the tree first.
I'm just surprised that the thing stayed up that long, all things considered. This is one strong-ass tree.
Well, don't knock the strength of wood. It's probably not the
It's made of wood.
It's probably not the weight of the car that's breaking these branches, but the force of it falling.
After the first snap, yeah.
It probably only started falling in the first place because they shifted it when they were trying to get the kid out. All things considered, you're right.
Comic relief.
And it conveniently stopped raining.
Yeah, well, that made shooting way too difficult. Where did Malcolm go? Did they ever?
He's in the wreckage of the bathroom.
Oh, okay. They probably established that like in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they find him right now.
Yeah, Malcolm doesn't do much of anything after this point in the movie, but they do make a point to show him surviving the film.
He's still like around. He's just not super involved with stuff.
I think he breaks his leg and all that earlier with the T-Rex.
Like I know he's in the upcoming chase scene, but he can't really do much.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he hurt his leg as they just showed.
Maybe stop shining your bright lights around. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Or at least don't aim it up. Like, keep it on the ground.
It's plenty bright enough out on its own.
Yeah, there's all these lovely studio lights all over the place.
Now, if only they'd stuck around instead of wandering off into the jungle, this would have ended a whole lot faster.
They probably just were trying to find some place to get out of the rain, I guess.
They had a place to get out of the rain. It was a little pipe thing that the girl was hiding in.
I think their thought was just like, we need to get the hell away from here now.
Like away from the T-Rex. I mean, I guess that's a decent enough idea. No, I have no idea how they made the ripples for the footprint.
Well, any sort of vibration.
Yeah, but they wanted to make it in a specific pattern. I don't know how they would have made it in that particular pattern.
Oh, I'd imagine that wouldn't be very difficult to simulate once you find the right spot. Just make sure the camera isn't on what you're actually using the vibrations for.
Chasing!
Okay. Now the CG T-Rex doesn't look so good.
This is where all those hours of Mario Kart helped out.
Oh, it's a stick! Oh, we're never going to get away.
And the shot that everyone mercilessly uses over and over.
It's iconic.
Yeah.
So, if this is the Dino Mario Kart stage, where's the barrel that shoots us to the top of the mountain?
Fucking rubber banding AI.
Yeah, that's Mario Kart, all right.
So we're about to win the race against the T-Rex. That's great. Oh God, is that a blue shell and a red shell and a power block?
And a bullet bill.
Invincibility star, lightning bolt. Fuck Mario Kart Wii, for the record.
we've all seen that clip of Daisy at the end of the stage.
It's the oh God.
I like how the T-Rex just sort of gives up on its own. It's like, it's not worth it.
It runs away really fast.
It just sort of
No,
stops.
do you remember the experience of eating the tire of the last car? It was like, oh, wait a minute. That thing, that tastes like shit.
And I still got bits of rubber stuck in my teeth, too.
And I have such tiny arms, I can't get it out.
It's gonna be there forever. Like, it's like eating popcorn. It gets underneath and you're never getting it out.
I would eat popcorn more often if it weren't for that.
No joke. One time I went to the movies and I had a piece of popcorn like wedge its way like almost entirely into the spot underneath my gum and my tooth, and it was there for like 3 days, and I didn't know. Like it hurt my tooth for forever because I didn't know what was causing it, and then I got a toothpick and it's like, this is a popcorn kernel. How long has this been here?
Whimsy.
See, they're not all bad.
Yeah, dinosaurs are okay when they're not trying to eat you.
Don't get too close. One of them will cast meteor.
Well, I'm afraid those things will harm me. They sure don't act like Barney.
Hey, Bob, look at these dipshits.
I like how Grant says that they're not monsters because they eat plants, but the other ones are animals too. Pal, they just
Yeah, they're not evil. They're just surviving.
He's trying to explain it in a way that kids would understand.
explain better. You're a scientist, damn it.
Just because you are a good scientist does not mean you are a good teacher. Tell that to every college professor ever.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind Grant's arc in this movie is he's terrible with kids.
Well, he's also afraid of committing with what's-her-face about it, so...
Even though they at the end of the movie, I know in the later movies they actually don't get together. She has kids with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that bothered me there, and it also bothered me in Ghostbusters as well. It's just like, okay, you're gonna set up the romance. You're gonna set up the romance between Venkman and I forget her name. But
Dana.
Dana. Yeah, and then in the next movie, you're gonna have her have a kid with another guy, and I'm like, okay.
Well, to be fair, Venkman is an asshole.
That's true, but it's just like, okay, we became invested in this relationship, and you're just gonna not only just have them break up, but have her establish a new relationship off screen. And that's just like one of the 50 million reasons why Ghostbusters 2 is garbage. I hate that movie.
Well, you don't like the NES Power Pad controlling the Statue of Liberty?
That's like the one decent part of that entire movie.
First off, it was the NES advantage.
Oh God, I've seen like those exact stuffed dinosaurs in stores when I was a kid. I'd seen them.
I'm sorry, this place is lacking a severe amount of Jurassic Park the flamethrower.
I like the meticulously sculpted dinosaur bones on the pillars there.
They spared no expense.
Actual fossil. Yeah, it's like actual fossil.
That actually is a really cool design for this place. Like if you went to an actual park and the restaurant.
I'm sure they do
like
something
this.
similar to that in the Jurassic Park area of Universal.
Yeah, but like if there was an actual park, like not even with real dinosaurs or anything, but a park where this was a place you could go, it would be really cool.
The power's out, right?
I'm sure they have reserve generators for the basics.
Yeah, they're on their backup generators, but you
Are
see,
they?
there's the light is from a candle at the middle of the table.
No, but it's like that the shadow that's on the girl's back, that's from a ceiling fan.
Yeah, I'm sure they have enough generators for like basic lights, and he is talking about the refrigerators are out because that's not essential. So he's eating the ice cream before it melts.
Man, what an asshole.
Well, I mean, if it's gonna melt, you might as well eat it.
Yeah, but that's not the thing that you should be thinking about at the moment.
Well,
especially since there's plenty of food behind you.
Well, he's more trying to take his mind off of his grandkids being lost in the jungle with dinosaurs on the loose.
Yeah, it's comfort food. And also, Hammond is the one person here who can't actually do anything about it, so all he can do is sit here and try not to think about it much.
Yeah, because all he is the money and, like, a visionary. He's not, like, he doesn't know any of the specifics.
He's an old man who hires a bunch of skilled people to do things for him.
Wow, so according to some trivia, a baby Triceratops was built for a scene where one of the kids would ride it. Special effect technicians worked on it for a year. The effect, but Spielberg decided to cut it at the last second because it ruined the pacing of the film. I'd be pissed.
Well, he still got paid for it.
As a technician.
Although that might be an interesting factoid because they do that scene in Jurassic World, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I forgot about that. Yeah,
delete it, but not forgotten.
It's not the first time in recent years that deleted segments from older movies have made their way into sequels. Like Darth Vader's fortress in Rogue One was supposed to be in The Empire Strikes Back. Wait, what mistake did you make?
Honestly, I don't know.
You didn't do anything. Didn't do anything correct. You didn't do anything incorrect.
You just are.
You just sort of...
I guess maybe she... Well, I mean, she just wanted to stay behind with the Triceratops. Like, I don't know, like maybe letting it get to her, I guess. Because she...
What was your mistake? Not being there to be eaten by the T-Rex?
Like, well, that's actually a common, like, guilt thing. Like, if I was there, I could have done something. Whether or not they actually could or could not have done something isn't really the point. They just feel bad because they didn't have the chance to do anything.
Wait, how did she reach all the way across there and get a spoon from one of the...
Shh.
What?
It was shh. It's okay.
It's too far across. It doesn't make sense.
Hey, remember when we said we were herbivores?
We lied. What, the dinosaurs are voiced by Vincent Price now, John?
State of the art. They spare at no expense. It's a Brachiosaurus. We're still shitting my pants. Motherfucker can cast Ultima if I look at it wrong.
And then why'd you
say this is one moment where the animatronic dinosaur does look a bit hokey because it's moving a bit too stiffly.
Yeah.
I think it's also a little bit weird because this is the first time we've seen it animatronic-like. Like, it's all been CG for these specific types of dinosaurs up until this point. So, it's a little bit weird when it's...
Well, this is the first time it's had a lot of movement while also interacting with people. Because you had the Triceratops, but that was barely moving at all because it was sick. So, maybe just be a bit jarring compared to moving a lot while also being with moving people.
One of the things that I remember expressly thinking when I was a kid, the first time I saw this scene, because you see, what's her name here? She's still bleeding in several places.
That's gotta get affected.
That's gotta sting.
Womp womp.
Ew.
You're never gonna let me live this down, are you?
No, you're not, kid.
I type on my computer randomly, and that makes me a hat. Oh, yeah. So, is this like an actual? Do they have frogs that can change gender in the wild? Is that an actual thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
But only it's based on just the gender ratio of the population.
Yeah. Okay.
And since they're all females here, that obviously means some are going to have to change for the species to survive. So.
Yeah. So, then these guys must have been idiots if they want to keep all of their if they want to keep all of their dinosaurs one gender, they should have picked a different frog.
Well, I doubt that they used that specific frog intentionally, but I think the implication is that, some of the genetic makeup of different types of frogs can be found in other frogs, just sort of buried in there somewhere. I guess in like the evolutionary backlog, so to speak. And some of that made its way into the dinosaurs. Like, it might be a capability that...
Oh, I love this clip of I love this clip of Malcolm where they add in Dr. Grant Holt, leaning on the Triceratops.
I was thinking about it during the Triceratops scene. I was holding back laughing so hard because that's all I think.
I can't see that clip of Goldblum anymore without thinking of Dr. Grant just leaning on him.
Oh, I just realized that their solution to this problem is turn the park off and turn it back on again.
Well, it's all they can. It's all they can really do.
That's how you fix almost everything wrong that happens with a computer. You reboot.
Well, ultimately, they wanted to not shut everything down because that would make things even worse. But now that things are even worse, they might as well try to keep themselves safe.
Unfortunately, the timing was bad. What gets me is that they have no way of doing this from here. They have to go to the power station. Okay. Finally, John Hammond grows some balls.
And we're dark.
Oh, wait, hold on. I remember that. You didn't say ass? Oh, man.
Hold on to your butts, motherfucker.
Yeah, there we go.
I can't believe they're making me use this G language bullshit.
Well, no, because you say hold on to your asses, it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well as hold on to your butts. Because, one syllable always trumps two.
Like, I guess he could just say hold on to your ass, speaking individually.
Yeah, but that wouldn't sound quite as nice either.
One syllable always trumps two, which is why Trump won over Clinton. I don't know why that joke just popped into my head right now. Thanks, Lewis.
I hope you regret your life right now.
I regret a lot of things at the moment. Oh no! They're gonna run over Mufasa!
Oh, hey, it's another kind of dinosaur we haven't seen yet.
Can you tell me what they are? Grant, you're the dinosaur expert.
Just shut up. For God's sake.
Okay, kids, hop on. We're gonna have a dinosaur riding level.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Chocobo Forest.
Hey, that's great, guys. We'll be able to skip random encounters with the dinosaurs until the next scene.
With the brachiosaurs.
We just need to get one of these, and we can, flee from the Midgarsolum Rex.
Microsoft.
Okay, the CG here has not aged particularly well.
Well, when it's a fast-moving object, they probably don't detail it quite as well either.
I think there were some points where the tree was shaking in the wrong direction for where the animal was supposed to be landing.
It's the motherfucking T-Rex.
My first thought was that thing's so big it might need to take down two of them to get a full meal, but then I realized, in proportion to its body, that's kind of the size of a chicken leg. Huh.
I do like that because he's a scientist. He's simultaneously horrified and fascinated by the dinosaurs. That's actually really cool. Also, why are there still lights shining if the power's supposed to be off?
No, that's sunlight coming through the windows.
Oh yeah, it's daytime. My bad.
Not yet.
Well, now that they put Johnny Depp in it, you never know.
Yeah. He's just a wild card.
And since our black guy hasn't returned yet, I'm going to assume he's dead.
Well, I mean, they didn't give him a gun, so, you give Samuel L. Jackson a gun, he probably would be able to survive anything.
No, he would just quote the Ezekiel part of the Bible again.
Even though this movie predates Pulp Fiction by a year.
Was Pulp Fiction 94?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction was 1994.
Wow. Hammond actually knows how to follow schematics. That's interesting.
Well, it's a simple.
Well, it's
it should be a simple map.
Well, yeah, I was more commenting on the fact that he knows how to do something.
Oh man, Jurassic Park and his stupid feminist values, pushing his politics all over my dinosaurs. It's ridiculous. I can't believe that feminism has ruined dinosaurs for everyone.
It's more that they're making fun of that Hammond is old and can't do anything.
Also, that he's being a sexist asshole.
Yeah.
Well, I think what Hammond was going for was, I'm responsible for this. This is my park, and you're just kind of a bystander here.
Yeah, but it came across as, you're the woman, you can't do it.
Yeah, miscommunication and whatnot. That seems to be something that happens with Sadler a couple of times in the movie.
Well, no shit. What'd you think was gonna happen?
Now, the implication that I got from this is that most of the dinosaur species, with the exception of the T-Rex, didn't think to try to break out of the electric fences because they were so used to the idea that the fences would electrify them.
Yeah, but how would they have known that they were turned off, though?
But the
Raptors are smart
Raptors
enough to
had been
notice.
the Raptors had been periodically testing the fences over and over and over again, and that was established earlier in the film. So
when did they do that? Did they do that during the beginning of the movie?
When they were at the Raptor paddock before, it was mentioned
Oh,
that the Raptors were testing the fences, always in different places and whatnot.
okay. Sorry, I must have missed it.
Yeah, they were trying to find their way out, essentially.
And then when the fence stopped working, they're like, "Oh, okay."
The T-Rex, on the other hand, just sort of happened to find out that it wouldn't hurt him and then busted out.
We just did my movie.
Well, I would assume I would go
Although
down
I'm-
at John Hammond. There's the only way to go right here.
Although I'm curious as to what they thought an electric fence would do to keep a Tyrannosaurus Rex inside. Like, even if it shocks them, is there anything to stop him from just barreling into it and ripping the fence down? And taking a bit of a shock in the process, but otherwise being okay?
It probably would have to be very, very high voltage, I think. Like, enough to stun a T-Rex.
10,000 volts.
Remember, kids, don't whiz on the electric fence.
So, would throwing a wooden stick at an electric fence actually do anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the shock would probably, like, the force would probably do something.
Yeah, and
at least.
it would still make a noise. It's not like wood's immune to electricity, just not,
It's just not very effective,
conductive.
just half damage. All right? Like, you can use Thunderbolt on that Oddish, it's just not very smart.
Shit. What is not conductive, but doesn't mean it can't be shocked.
Which is scarier? Electric fence that's turned off? Tyrannosaurus Rex that's turned on?
What if we
Oh
turned
my.
off the electric fence? What if we turned off the
This
Tyrannosaurus
is it.
and turned on the electric fence?
We have entered the seventh circle of hell.
I take that back. Hammond doesn't know how to follow a schematic.
That's actually a lot smarter of a way to direct someone.
Yeah, Malcolm, unlike the big egghead scientists that might have popped up, he's got kind of a straightforward way of communicating with people. I guess that's part of what makes his character likable. Because he's an intelligent guy, academic and all that, but he's also, he knows how to explain his thoughts to people who don't already get it.
Why can't we throw the main switch by hand? I just think that would be a good thing to do.
Oh, I think they have to, like, you can't just, since it's
Yeah.
so much power, I guess you just can't turn it on.
You
Right away.
have to rev it up a bit like an old-fashioned car.
Yeah.
Do generators and stuff work like this?
I don't know. I'm not an electrician.
Well, I do know for basic generators, you do have to, generate power. So,
Stupid kid. Fucking jump.
have you guys ever messed with a breaker in your
Breakers,
house?
yeah, not generators.
Yeah.
No, I'm not messing with that. I'd break it.
Well,
It's fairly
circuit
simple.
Circuit breakers are just switches at the end of the day. It's a fuse box that you really have to worry about.
Why do they?
Huh?
Just stupid kid, fucking jump.
Why are you standing so far back, Grant, if you want him to jump down?
Kid, fucking jump.
Oh dear.
So that shock wouldn't kill somebody, right? If they let go immediately.
Well,
I'm gonna look it up.
Well,
it probably wasn't at full voltage right away.
Even then, it depends on what type of current we're going for, because some make you lurch back and some make your muscles contract and thus grab it even tighter.
Ooh, that would be bad.
Yeah. Also, how did you get in here?
Dinosaur magic.
Dinosaur magic. Star Fox Adventure, anyone?
That's my arm, motherfucker. Give it back.
Wait, why is she limping?
I'm not sure, actually.
Like, when did she hurt her leg?
Probably when she was holding the fence against the Raptor's lunge. Because it did look pretty impactful.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here on the safari, we're off hunting some velociraptors.
I am Robert Muldoon. I was meant for this role because my last name is Muldoon.
So it said horse purring, like horse as in rough, in my subtitles. So for a second, I thought that there was like a horse there.
A horse, yeah, like an actual horse.
Well, a horse is a horse, of course, of course.
Was it really necessary to unfold the stock?
Yeah, you gotta be badass, you know.
And thus ends the safari of Robert Muldoon.
You know, in the time where you had to dramatically have the camera zoom up on you and you said, clever girl, you could have shot him and died. And, well, killed it, I should say.
Well, not really, because the moment he made a sudden movement, that thing would have been on him anyway.
I don't know. Like, maybe. Dramatically, he might have been able to do it.
And then Tim wakes up, he's like, I made out with my hero. That was a swift transition.
Well, they were outside the perimeter fence. The perimeter fence being the electric fence outside everything else.
Well,
they think they're safe.
Well, they were.
The fossils start coming to
life. They were lucky that they were able to make it back to the building, though, because just because you're outside the perimeter doesn't mean you're anywhere close to the main visitor center.
Well, this is the place where, you know, there aren't any other dinosaurs that got out besides the raptors, and we know where the raptors are.
Well, they think they know where the raptors are.
No, we know where the raptors are. They're eating Muldoon.
Yeah, at this point, they think they're safe.
Yeah. His hands got burned. That's gotta hurt.
Ooh, cake.
That cake's probably gross and stale by now.
Burned hands are a real pain because your hands are almost constantly moving.
Oh yeah, you can if you've ever burnt part of your hands, it's terrible.
Or cut them or anything, really.
Yeah.
Dude, kid, you're starving and you went for the broccoli, really?
I want the Jell-O.
Well, actually, yeah, she said she's a vegetarian. She might actually have been telling the truth.
When did she clean herself off?
Probably in the bathroom here.
So, is there a dinosaur behind them, or is that broccoli really fucking delicious?
Hey guys, look at my shadow puppets. I can make a deadly velociraptor that's gonna eat you right now.
This is another scene everyone likes to rip off.
There's an episode of the Kirby anime where they riff on Jurassic Park of all things.
Okay, coming up here, there will be a wide shot of the raptor opening the door. Look to the slight left of the raptor. You will see a guy's hand pushing the model in.
Wait, hold on.
This way, sir. Ah, thank you.
Yeah, there was a stand-in model, obviously, just so they had something to react off of on wheels, so they could kind of roll it in and put the actual animation there later. You will see a guy's hand off-screen. Well, not off-screen, but from the side of the door, rolling the model in.
So wait, right here?
It should be right about here, yes.
Because this is like one of the most iconic scenes in the film, too.
Yeah, and now it'll be forever ruined because you'll always see the hand every time. So it should be coming up right about now, as soon as he opens the door. Yeah, look to the left. There it is.
There it is. It's pushing its ass down.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the tail.
Nope, that's a guy's hand.
Nope, that's a hit.
Oh man.
Oh.
And now you'll never take that shot seriously anymore.
Oh, that's horrible.
Did they just not have another shot that they could have used?
Well, probably no one noticed, really.
Hey, dude, did you just try to eat me? Asshole.
Velociraptors are state of the art. Their tails look like stagehands.
Literal stagehands.
Now we gotta play some Metal Gear Solid.
Now there's an episode of just of one of the many lists of kind of knocking off the scene. There's an episode of Teen Titans where they go into the TV world, and at one point, Beast Boy is fighting a bad guy in like a cooking channel show. He turns into a velociraptor to fight him in it.
Man, Beast Boy was always the most useless member.
Well, it depends on whether he was smart enough to actually use his powers. That's always kind of the weird thing with superheroes, is that the power is never really all that overpowered or useful until you know how to actually use it. Yeah, this scene must have been a pain to animate.
Oh, man, for sure. Especially considering that for the models, they're pretty... The big thing about the models, I think, when compared to today's CGI, isn't the detail. The models are actually very detailed. It's just that they pop a lot when compared to the real world stuff. So it probably took forever for them to animate and make it move.
They do look slightly laminated.
And they certainly are illuminated.
Lol,
What gets
reflective.
what gets me is how she knew that the raptor would see that reflection from that angle.
Raptor, you can run. Run.
Yeah, there's...
Well, that I wouldn't know.
Do they have to, build up speed, or can they go straight to a dash right away?
Well, everything's got to build momentum.
Okay, kids.
Raptors aren't smart enough to use keys, are they?
Oh, in Jurassic Park they are.
That motherfucker just sneered.
You just let him go, too.
I think the raptor that got stuck in that refrigerator is just done.
How do you computor? Oh, hello.
Why are the door locks tied to the computer system?
Because they're fancy.
Yeah,
What do you think you're gonna do by pushing that side of the door?
Yeah, this scene coming up right now, this is an actual operating system that people used for like they actually used it for
and they're making it sound all big and impressive. What
that
she's
they
actually
used in
doing is just
Jurassic Park,
clicking on folders.
if I remember correctly. Yeah, basically.
Looking
It's
at
like
the config
the
files.
modern day equivalent of this
Yeah,
is
looking up the
going into
config
your start
files,
menu,
searching for lock
clicking
doors
on
and
the
locks
locks
and so on.
folder, saying run
Siri, can you help me?
Just ask Cortana to boot up the door lock.
run lockdoor.exe.
Hey Siri, help.
So the 13-year-old girls
This
are better.
this isn't
hacker
hacking, this
than,
is
like,
clicking
the
on
professional
folders.
programmers they have on staff.
Well,
It's really lucky that they managed to push the door shut in time for that.
Yeah, because if the locks went out while the door was open, they just never would be able to get it closed again.
read me a bedtime story.
Well,
Once upon a time, there was a guy who
was
looked
this
suspiciously
posse
like you who
called
teamed up with the
Jurassic
Fresh
Park.
Prince of Bel-Air. They went on a mission to stop aliens. Wouldn't shooting the glass make it more easily broken?
Why would you?
It was jammed.
Why would you drop the frickin' shotgun? Like
It jammed.
Oh, okay. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to jump that.
Now, there's something about the lighting from the tile grating here.
Oh, I never noticed
It
how
looks
cool that shot is with the DNA on it. That's awesome. Sorry, you go.
It's just like it made the raptor in the shot before that last one look kind of really strange.
Yes, it is.
This movie's awesome for the record. Like,
I keep momentarily forgetting to talk.
So anyone want to play the point and click adventure
it
game?
sucks you in, I think, is the biggest part about it. It's. Can we not?
This would be even better if the fossils came back to life.
Oh man.
Does science know no bounds?
I haven't actually checked that out. I probably should at some point though.
No.
You're wrecking all these
Yeah, that's
fossils,
all I
Indy
got,
walks in.
just
It belongs in a museum. Oh, now you let go, Tim.
This part with the fossils is a bit too kooky for my liking.
I honestly
But
don't
maybe-
remember it all that well, actually.
It's like they kind of gave up on making the dinosaurs themselves scary at this point and decided to try and use the environment, but it didn't work as well as it could have.
Well, the environment worked in, like, the kitchen. It's just, like, they tried to have it, like, be, like, I don't know, like, tense because they're hanging off of something. Also, how did you get out, other Velociraptor?
That was the third Velociraptor from the power station.
It's the
Oh,
motherfucking
okay.
T-Rex.
Okay, I don't remember there being 3, but okay.
How did he sneak in?
I don't know.
He
Through
was
the door.
he was stalking the raptor. He came in the same way the raptor just did.
I figured they would eat anything they felt like.
Would T-Rexes eat raptors, though?
I don't think it would matter.
I
in
don't know if they're
context
even
of
from
this
the same
scene,
time
but-
period, though, to be fair.
I think Velociraptors and T-Rexes are both Jurassic period.
So Hammond just wastes roughly like $4 billion or more.
T-Rex.
One of the cool things in Jurassic World is that it is this specific T-Rex that
Yeah.
that reappears, and it's got those scars that the raptor left on it.
Wait, really?
Well,
Yeah.
Wow, how did it
Well, no
stay
one ever
alive
said
all
that T-Rexes only live for like a day or
never
something.
mind. I don't want to know. Yeah, but the whole what's it called thing with the amino acid, like that would have ensured that the dinosaur died.
Lysine, but
Life finds
yeah,
a way.
It would have, it should have, but well, according to Jurassic World, the island was just reclaimed by InGen, but what winds up happening with the dinosaurs in the books and in the other movies is that the herbivores start to eat plants that are rich in lysine,
which
so
in
they
turn
provide it to themselves, and then the carnivores eat them. And
oh boy, it's
get
time for the
lysine out of
Goldblum
it.
laugh.
Yeah.
At least in a little bit.
This is such a cool ending to the movie too. It's a happy ending. It's also sad. It's just
and Goldblum's
great.
fantastic.
And there's no
laugh.
dialogue too, so it's all facial acting and all that.
Yeah.
He died.
At the end of the day, though, I can only.
Yeah, that was his arm she found in the
Samuel Jackson.
in the room where he got eaten by the raptor that was there.
Nah, unconfirmed. He's somewhere out there.
Just armless.
Armless.
He's
yeah.
got to go to the.
Tell me Avengers would not be a better movie with a T-Rex.
Maybe. Maybe, and this is just a theory, maybe he's Snoke.
I love this piece of music.
Ah, yeah,
He is.
The music in this movie is great.
John Williams is just a genius.
It's a dinosaur. Holy shit! What
It's a
the
dinosaur.
fuck? So yeah, that was Jurassic Park. Probably one of my favorite movies from this time period.
Oh no, it's fantastic.
Modern.
It still holds up, I think, to this day. I think. No, Netflix. I don't want to watch 13 Reasons Why. Leave me alone.
The technology's aged a bit on our more modern screens, but I still think visually it still holds up like remarkably well, especially for '93. Rest in peace, Richard Attenborough.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, he's been in tons of other things.
What other movies did he do?
Like,
I know that he reprised his role.
Maybe it's his
Lost
brother
World.
that's mostly the nature documentary guy, but he's mostly used for his like really charming voice. Is the thing. Newman. I think it was.
What wasn't he Santa Claus in one other movie?
Oh, I think the new
that seems
Miracle
like
on
it,
34th Street, the remake. I think he's Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of.
You know, it's funny because like I'm surrounded by a lot of Jurassic Park love and fans of
Only the
series
seventh.
myself, but this is only like maybe the 7th time I've watched this movie.
Yeah.
Only the 7th. I mean, it's been out for 24 years, close to 24 years. At this point.
You don't need to watch it like every like I don't know, like every year or something. I think it works, but it's also like I think it's not the kind of movie that you watch all the time. I guess does that make sense? Because it's more about the suspense and the tension and like the environment. It's not like I guess like a Star Wars or something where it's meant to be watched and rewatched over and over again. It's like you watch it and you're good for a while. Is more
to get the effect that you got the first time you watched it, or at least some fraction of that effect. You gotta let it fade from your mind a little bit.
Yeah, because like I haven't watched Jurassic Park in years since we did this, and like it's just like oh man.
Now let's hope World 2 doesn't
bite
bite the big one.
And it's just fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
They can. No, but they confirmed they're making one after how well
do we
Jurassic
have
World
a
did.
trailer for that? Yeah, Jurassic World did.
And Chris
they
Pratt's
left
still around,
douchebag
so.
scientist guy as a loose end there.
So
So
Chris Pratt's still around. They're probably going to keep
Miss Runs and Heels.
other woman as well. I forget her name or what actress played her. Yeah, Miss Runs and Heels. But yeah. Like, I mean, Chris Pratt will do anything that gives him money, so I'm sure he'll still be fine.
Yeah, Mr. DNA.
Oh, Mr. DNA! No dinosaurs were harmed in the making of this movie.
Ah, man.
So when are we going to do the other Jurassic Parks, Ryan?
Will we go to? Will we do 2 and 3, or will we just kind of forget those exist like World does?
Masochistic?
I don't see why not. Everyone loves more Goldblum.
Do we have to do 2 and 3? Because, well, 2 at least seems like it'd be funny to riff on. 3 is just a really boring movie, from what I remember. I've only seen it the one time, so I don't.
Well, you don't want to see William H. Macy?
But I just remember it being really, really boring. I don't even know who that is.
Well, Jurassic Park 3 is funny for one other reason. There's a guy named Kirby.
Well, yeah, that's William H. Macy's character.
Trying to eat him, which just seems like karma to me.
Yeah, all the technical stuff in this movie was done by Lucas. They're BFFs, yeah.
Well, Lucas and Spielberg are bros, so that doesn't really...
That would be giving Lucas way too much credit.
Lucas and Spielberg in the same room at the same time.
I mean, we know he's nowhere near smart enough to make some of these movies that Spielberg does.
No, like, Lucas is like the like, you know how in like TV shows and stuff and like movies you've got like the really cool guy and then like his like nerdy best friend. So, like, Spielberg is the Gaston, and Lucas is the LeFou.
Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Spielberg. Looking so down at the dumps.
Yeah, see, look.
Oh, what a guy.
I
That's
use
Spielberg.
Dinosaurs and all my decorating. My, what a guy. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, man, you can get it on cassette.
THX.
The soundtrack. Oh, man.
I don't.
Yeah, but I'll be.
Thud.
But this is one of my favorite movies. I think. Like, it's one of those things that I don't think about too much, but it's just like Jurassic Park. Yeah, that movie kicks ass. It also doesn't help that my DVD for this movie has been scratched for years. So whenever you try to put it in, you'll like get half of the first T-Rex scene, or like
it's just weird seeing copyright 1993 and realizing that's almost 25 years ago.
Yeah, the PowerPoint. Yeah. I like how the music gets super like mysterious and evil sounding for Spielberg.
So, what movies will we do next? Who the fuck knows?
Cool. Yeah, we don't.
So I guess we'll see.
Yet. We don't even know when we're going to do more movies.
Well, I mean, it's only natural that at one point we do Lost World, and then the prequel to.
What about the modern animated adaptation of We're Back?
Before we revisit either of the two horror-ish franchises that we just did, though, I kind of want to visit the Alien franchise.
But we'll decide on our next round of movies, whenever they may be.
I like that idea a lot.
3 years from now. Okay, good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah, sounds good.
No, we should do more scary stuff for Halloween. I like what we did.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, cool.
Alrighty then, folks.
Hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
Hope you don't get eaten by a velociraptor. That would ruin your day. Probably. I don't know. Maybe you're into that.